welcome back to the channel. If you're a new viewer, thank you for clicking on the video. I want to start this video off by saying that this is by no means a jab towards digital modeling technology, VST plugins, FX processors, or anybody who uses them. I have used them in the past, I still do use them, and I will probably use them depending on my situation, okay? So just to get that out of the way, this is more of a personal kind of introspection video that I have to do, because for the longest time I've been using actually a digital modeling thing called the Moore G200, okay? So it's not even their most high-end model, it's not the most expensive thing on the market, but I've never had a problem with it. I've used it to play metal, I've used it to play a lot of stuff. Actually, I think I found a couple of videos of me using this one, so enjoy and I'll get back to you. So this was the Moore G200 on a lead setting for a project that I did called Lucifer, a rock opera. Link is in the description. It sounds pretty cool. Do check it out. Right, I think this was a performance that was recorded during the pandemic, and it was supposed to be streamed or something, or it was. I don't remember exactly what happened there, but anyway, do check the project out. So that's one of them. And let's check out another. I've also used it in other genres as well. Here's another lead setting on it too. Okay, so that was the Moore G200 again, lead setting. It was for a live radio show that I did with a project called Mr. C and the Sinners Crowd. Zero rehearsal time for that. We played a few shows. I think we played more shows than we rehearsed. We had like one rehearsal at some point. It was a very fun thing to do. I really liked working with those people. I'm gonna link the song in the description if I can still find it on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure that I can. Mr. C is a pretty cool dude. Maybe one day I'll do a collab with him on the channel. Who knows? Talk about some music business stuff, some recording stuff. He's also a very, very good guitar player, so I respect the guy a lot. Anyway, so I've used the Moore G200 on numerous occasions and played various genres with it, as you can see, ranging from metal to more laid-back kind of hip-hop-ish stuff. I've played weddings with it, and some idiot stepped on the master volume knob at a gig, ruined it completely, and now it's gone. Now, I have to say that since I've been working in studios for a long time now, I did get to play a lot of like the major modelers, you know, the Fractals, the Kempers. I did get to see the Quad Cortex, and I think they're all really good for what they do, and they're nice and they're compact, and so is the Moore. It was very easy to carry around. Basically, all I had to do was pack it into the gig bag and just take a train to the gig or whatever. So here I am with a clean slate and about 16 shows booked so far. And I need to build my sound up again. So what did I do? I kind of had to be honest with myself, and, you know, having experienced a lot of this modern technology, which is wonderful, and a lot of players that I really admire use it. Again, I'm not judging the difference between analog and digital or anything like that, okay? But I had to be honest with myself. Like, those things have a ton of options on them. And I don't use pitch shifting. I only play in one tuning. I have like one guitar with me, the AZ. I'm probably gonna start bringing it back up very soon, because it's really stupid to just travel with one guitar, especially if you're playing longer shows, you know, like functions, weddings, and stuff like that. So I thought to myself, okay, those things have a ton of options on them, but throughout my entire life as a guitar player, I've mainly used maybe 3 to 4 tones. Okay, so you'd have like a dry clean and then a wet clean with reverb and delay and a bit of chorus every now and then. And then you have your rhythm channel and your lead channel, basically, right? So it's kind of like a 3-channel amp setting, whatever you do, or whatever I do in this case. So in that case, I took a little bit of a trip down memory lane, and I just tried to remember like how did I start playing, what did I use, and I've used a lot of stuff during the years, a lot of low budget stuff in the beginning. Like I think my first multi effects unit was a Zoom 505 5052. Yeah, that was the one. And I actually like the chorus sound on that one. I like chorus sounds. Sorry, Steven Wilson. Then I had a bunch of pedals, and when I started playing more seriously in the metal scene, we had this like club scene going on where I'm from, and there was a backline company who I'm still friends with to this day. They're very, very cool. Basically, I barely had a functioning guitar at that point. I think it was a Jackson JSDK 30, the import models with a licensed Floyd. It was a very entry-level guitar. I mean, it was okay for what it did, but that was all I could afford back then, and me and the other guitar player, we would just show up at the gig with our guitars and some cables, hoping we'd find like some cool amps on stage. And thankfully, the guys were cool. They let us play like DSLs, and they also brought a 6505, a PV amp. And we used to flip coins to see who gets to play the PV amp each night. So basically, the clean channel was my volume knob, and that's how I got used to actually playing shows back then. That was roughly 19 years ago. Man, time flies. Anyway, so taking that trip down memory lane and actually being honest with myself, I said, okay, I need 4 tones at best, so I can get them like straight from the source, from a more uncontrolled environment, if you will. So I bought an amp, a PRS MT15 with an orange 1x12 cabinet loaded with a vintage 30, and a bunch of pedals. A couple of them you've seen reviewed on this channel. They're by Thermion Engineering. They're really cool. I dig their sound. So I'm in this situation where I either bring an amp wherever I can, and more often than not, I'm still going to rely on impulse responses. So I have an IR loader and a very compact pedal board that I'm still configuring, so I can't show it to you right now, but I will pretty soon. And that's going to be like my main travel rig. And you know, a lot of thought went into this, because I said, hey, look, I can drop some money on a very, very professional amp modeler, but do I actually use all of it? I mean, in the studio at home and, you know, on my laptop, I have the Neural DSP stuff that I use to layer things, that I use to demo stuff or practice, and even upload. I've even recorded some videos with it, and it sounds very good. Again, I don't think one is better than the other necessarily, but I just think that analog gear and pedals work better for me in the current playing situation that I'm in. And probably it's going to stay that way because I'm getting old and kind of stuck in my ways. And, you know, to be fairly honest, in that thought process, I started to remember like some of my favorite players. I'm a huge Joe Bonamassa fan, and I'm fascinated by the insane amounts of vintage gear that the man buys, aside from his amazing music and playing and everything. I mean, come on, we know Joe Bonamassa, he's great. And recently I looked at the No Cover Charge podcast, I took a look at it. He bought like Gary Moore's Soldano SLO 100, and man, that amp sounds beautiful. And I just kept reminding myself, like, hey, I love the sound of actual amps. I love that roar. I love the imperfections. I really dig the fact that they're a bit more unforgiving, in my opinion, so they do force you to play more articulate, more clean. You know, they're practically asking you to, you know, keep them under control, get the best out of the amp. And no two amps are the same. I mean, I love that as well. So if I'm traveling and there's rented backline from venue to venue, I'm always curious what amp I'm gonna get on stage. Of course, I'm gonna have the pedals with me just in case I get like something that's really bad. But there's a certain excitement to that. There's something that keeps guitar playing interesting for me, right? So like most of my favorite players, John Petrucci, he plays amps. And they all use various pedals, and they get like such cool tones from that. So I'm guessing that utility and preference really do come into mind whenever I'm thinking of acquiring some new gear. And I thought to myself, hey, look, I need to make a change. I really don't like change, but if I have to, let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to what actually got me interested in hunting down tones and gear and stuff like that. And basically it was various amps, various pedals. So I had a Marshall JCM 900 at some point. It was a pretty good amp, but I'm not really a Marshall guy. I did play a Engel Powerball for a number of years, for 5 years, with a metal band. That was a very cool sounding amp. I didn't want to make a long video about this because I'm not gonna start this debate with digital versus analog. It's the last thing that I want to do. It was just kind of a look into the thought process that goes into putting together my rig nowadays. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna link some of the demos that I did for Thermion at the end right now, so do check them out. I think they're cool pedals. And whenever you're thinking of getting stuff, think of how much you are actually going to use it, right? And if it suits your needs. And in my opinion, that's the best way to make an informed decision, because I take a look at a lot of stuff and I'm tempted to buy so much gear. Like, the gear acquisition syndrome is back with full force this time. But at the end of the day, I am getting older, so there's this kind of like voice in the back of my head saying, are you actually going to use that to its full potential? And if the answer is no, I'm just going to hold off on making that investment. And it is what it is. And that about wraps it up. So thank you so much for clicking on the video. Links at the end here, and I'll see you soon. I'll try to do some more pedal reviews. I've got a few of them in the works, but the schedule's been pretty busy lately, and I'll keep you updated with more stuff. Thank you. See you soon. Cheers.